Good morning, Bonneville County. This is Idaho State Senator Kevin Cook with you on Breakfast with Senator Cook. Join the discussion. Today we're going to talk about a little bit about some last two budgets that we passed that were a little bit on the controversial side, but we got them through. But the good news is the session is over. Well, kind of over. It's over until Thursday at noon. We are officially in recess until Thursday at noon. The governor has 5 days to sign the bills that we gave him to law, or he can veto them. And there's a couple that we think that he may veto. And so we'll go back Thursday and discuss if there are some vetoes, discuss if we have the votes to override them or not. And if we do, then we'll try it. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I suspect that Thursday afternoon or Friday morning that we will officially sine die. So until then, we are still in session, but I am home. I'm excited to be home to Idaho Falls. Awesome place, a little bit colder than Boise, but it's great to be home. Let's see, session was a little hard. It was very, very busy. Being a first-time chairman of a committee took a lot of time. I was in the Capitol anywhere from 6 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. and didn't leave until around 9 p.m. that night. So there were long, long hours. So it's going to be great to get back to work and only spend 40 hours. But obviously there's some time I'll be spending trying to work some of the issues throughout the summer and see if we can get things improved a little bit. Let's talk about two of the last controversial budgets that were passed. So one was passed Thursday and one was passed Friday. House Bill 369 was the Medicaid budget. Medicaid is out of control. You could say that's true for our health system as well. It's out of control. The budget was $4.5 billion, that's with a B, billion dollars this year. It only passed by one vote. The far right and the Dems, they voted against it. But we got it passed through with one vote. And I debated on the floor. I said, yes, it is out of control. We've got to do something, but we need a budget to get going. So anyway, it did pass. We've got to figure out how to get it under control. This summer, there's a long-term Medicaid report that's due. Supposed to be due this month. That's supposed to shed some light on cost containment. We also appropriated $500,000 to study Medicaid this summer. The study includes the Medicaid expansion and managed health. So what managed health is, basically we contract with a third outside party, a private party, to come in and manage the Medicaid for us. Okay, so a third party would look at the Medicaid and manage it. From what I'm hearing, there's kind of a honeymoon period, 2 or 3 years. It looks really, really good. Savings are coming in, and then after that, the cost starts creeping up. So I don't know. We're going to study that, and we'll see what happens this summer. This is kind of before my time, but there were promises that were made if we would just pass Medicaid expansion, that we would see these humongous savings, health savings coming in. Well, that didn't happen. In fact, just the opposite happened. Our costs just went skyrocket. There's lots of talk about doing different things. There's talk about dropping the Medicaid expansion, dropping some of the programs that are in Medicaid. Even, I talked about managed health, signing up for that. And so putting some sideboards on it. Obviously, during the Medicaid emergency, we weren't able to kick anybody off Medicaid, and so we're in the process of doing that. They have identified 19,000, and that's just in the last 30 days, I believe. They identified 30,000 people that are no longer valid Medicaid users, and so they'll be kicked off, but they can't kick them off until the federal emergency COVID period is done. And I believe that's supposed to be done the end of April or the first part of May. I can't remember the actual date on it when the Biden administration is supposed to say it's done. So really, really look forward to that happening. Anyway, the bottom line is we got to do something. We got to do something with Medicaid, and it needs to be done quick. And so I'm hoping to take part of the Medicaid study this summer to get on that team and look at it and see what we can do there. All right, one of the last budgets that we passed, this one was passed Friday. It was House Bill 299, and this was the Secretary of State's budget. We debated that for quite some time. It was a huge budget, nowhere near close. It was huge for a Secretary of State budget, okay? But as I visited with him, so I called him in and I says, hey, what's going on with this budget? Talk to me, what's happening? I didn't realize, I always thought Secretary of State was just involved with statewide elections. So like when we're voting for governor or for, Secretary of State, all of those positions, legislator. But that's not true. They're involved with every time you go to the booth to vote, they're involved with that. And so think about it when you go in August or March and you vote for a school bond. The Secretary of State office is involved with that. That's their baby. They handle all elections across the state. So it is a very, very busy office. They also handle all of the small businesses. Okay, anytime you create a new business, you got to go through the Secretary's office. And so he was saying, I can't remember the percent of growth that we've had lately with all of the new businesses. So you got all these people coming into Idaho, a new population growth, and many of them are starting new businesses. Idaho is a perfect place to start new businesses. And so the Secretary of State is very, very busy with that. But some of the concerns I had was the software. It's got all kinds of new software to handle our elections, to handle the campaign fund, all of that stuff. And we talked about it. And he says, the software is not broken. These applications are not broken. They're working. But he says they are at the end of life. Okay, so as many as you might know, I'm a software engineer. And so I could listen to this and understand that. You do not want to wait until your software is broken to replace it. But on the other hand, if it's going really good, you don't say, oh, let's jump the gun and get something new. I am not for going for the cutting edge, the bleeding edge of software. But I don't believe in falling off the back end either. And so there's somewhere in there you got to find a happy medium. And I believe that that's where we're at right now, that this software does need to be replaced. It's old technology. It's old architect. It needs to be replaced. And so that's where he was going with it. And some of the decisions that were made on the old software was based on old thinking, old technology, and it does need to be replaced. And so there's a lot of money that's involved with replacing some of that software and installing that, configuring it, and making it all work. And so you'll see that was part of the budget. So we voted on it, and it did pass. Just barely, well, no, not barely. It passed by 22 to 11, and then there was 2 absents, and so it passed. But that's kind of the last 2 days that was going on. It's great to be back, and I'll let you know. So what happens? Tune in next Saturday. I'll let you know what happens back in our session. Hopefully, I'm back home Saturday, and we're done with the session, and we can start moving forward with the things that really need to be worked. That's kind of the busy season, is the off session when you get things going and studying. And so anyway, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, get a hold of me. Love to try and answer them and get back with you. Okay? Talk to you later. Thank you. Have a great Saturday.